Every little girl grows up dreaming about her happy ever after, but most of us don't have fairy tale scriptwriters making sure we get it. That's where the Happy Ever After show comes in. If you have been waiting for a fairy godmother to wave her magic wand and release your frustrations, create the prosperity you want, and live a life you love, then listen closely. It's time to learn how to make your own wishes come true with your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Happy Ever After Show. I'm Cassie and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. This is one of my favorite things to do, is to hang out with you and to talk about how to create a successful business, how to be an amazing entrepreneur that gets to experience the success, making the impact they want, and making money. Making money is fun, and that is one of my favorite things, as well as making an impact. So I'm so glad that you're spending the time with me. Make sure if you love the show that you've subscribed, you've hit the subscribe button on iTunes, and I would love to hear from you. So if you feel called, please leave a review and let me know, what your takeaways from the show are, what's impacting you, what you'd love to see more of, any of that. So thank you for being here. I am so excited. I'm really excited about the topic today, and I am excited about a lot of things, one of which is my new book. It comes out January 19th. It'll be free that day for a couple days, or you can pick it up on Amazon. You can get it in the ebook form. It will be in print in a couple months. I always get that question, so I'm just going to cover it now. I am super excited about this book. I'm excited about, this is the fourth book that I'll have written in about a year. I'm excited about this book because it's all about marketing. We're going to talk about marketing today. But, I think back when I think about my book, I wrote a couple books when I was in what I call my unsuccessful phase of entrepreneurship in my business. And by sometimes I was successful, but I wasn't successful in terms of making the money I wanted or having the impact I wanted, for sure. And I wrote two books, and I wrote the last one right before I signed on to work with Difference Press, whom I love. And it was called Retired at 32. And I thought it was fabulous. And I went through how I, invested and changed my money mindset and involved self-love in being able to quit my job and technically retire at 32. And I loved that book. And I thought it was going to make this huge impact. And I was excited. So it had 100 downloads, which I thought was amazing. I'd never had anything have 100 downloads. I gave it away for free on my birthday. And I thought it was really cool. But after it came out, nobody emailed me and was like, this book changed my life. And that bothered me because I'm not just an entrepreneur to make money. I want to make a difference. I want to make an impact on people's lives. I want to encourage people and inspire people and teach people how to take that next step to become successful, which is why I do this podcast as well. But I'm an entrepreneur for that reason, to make an impact on people's lives. And so there's this gnawing feeling that I didn't get one response like that, because I figure most, 50% of people probably didn't read it, whatever, some people just don't make comments, but to not have one comment really kind of bugged me. And so as I think about my new book coming out, I think about all of the reviews I've gotten on my other books that are available on Amazon. And I'm excited because I know that this book is going to have an even bigger impact than those books had. And that's part of what I've learned in this journey and part of being a successful entrepreneur. It's one thing, I talk about the money a lot and stepping into that place of having the experience of money because that's important. You have to have money to support your business and to keep it running, and to be able to make an impact, you need to be making a living, and preferably a very good living. But it's so important to me to make an impact as well. And so I'm excited because I know this book will have one of the biggest impacts, if not the biggest, of any of the books I've written so far. It's written for entrepreneurs. It's about marketing. It's about the easy way to do it. And so I'm just excited, celebrating how far I've come. And that's so important in your business as well. Celebrate how far you're coming and get in touch with those things. I'm always going to say it, get in touch with the vision and the experience that you want to have. So really think about, what do you want to experience? Is it making an impact through a book, or is it just about the money? What is it that you want to experience? And so I'm just super thrilled that I've been able to find the publisher I have, and that I've been able to learn, because it was a process, writing a book that makes an impact and has people emailing you, telling you this book changed my life. That's a skill. And I learned that from my publisher. Like, I didn't know how to do that. Obviously, I'd written 2 books before, and I didn't get those responses. And that was important to me. It wasn't important to me just to write a book. I wanted to write a book because I wanted to share what I knew, and I wanted to change lives. And so I'm celebrating that today. Just very excited about how that book's all coming together. And again, it'll be released on January 19th. So let's talk about marketing. I used to hate the word marketing, and it scared me. Like, I don't know how to market. For me, marketing meant big advertising budgets and big advertisers. And I've talked about it before. Like, I've had 1 intro to business class. I don't have a marketing degree. And so when it came to marketing my business, I had no idea how to do it. None. Like, I didn't even really understand the basics of marketing, which is like getting people to know you. I read this Brooke Castillo quote a couple days ago, which I just loved, and it's just stuck with me for some reason. And it said, marketing is great because it lets people know you can help. So whatever it is that you do, it's magical. Whether you have a product or a service, whatever it is, like, what you do is magical. I know that. And it helps somebody. It serves somebody in some way. And marketing is just the way that you let them know you can help them. Which, if you've ever needed help in your life, if you've ever really needed help on a small thing or a big thing, like, finding someone, like somebody telling you they can help, is huge. So that's why marketing is so important. And like I said, I had no idea about marketing. And in the early days, I wanted my business to be successful, but I didn't know what successful looked like. So that's part of the reason why it wasn't successful. And that's the whole reason I went down these roads that I'm going to talk about, especially in terms of marketing. And I did it all wrong. Here's the thing. It might have worked differently. Like, I can't say that it was all wrong, but it was all wrong because I didn't have a clear vision. Because I didn't have that GPS point. I didn't have that place to latch onto. I didn't know where I was going. Everything else suffered, including marketing. And I thought the answer to that problem, the problem of not being successful, I thought it was to throw money at different things and to learn different things and to try different things and all of that. That's not how to do it. The answer is to get really clear about where you're going and to invest money in the things you know are going to help, if that's the path that you're going to take, and to put time and energy in the things that you know are going to make a difference in your business. And marketing is one of those. And it's one that if your vision isn't clear, you could just throw money down a rabbit hole all day, or time, or energy, or all of the above. Because where you're going isn't clear, there's no way for your marketing, letting people know how you can help, there's no way for that to override that. Like, you can't market good enough if you don't know where you're going, right? Or you don't know what life you want. And so that's why that vision is so important. And we talked about in the last show about deciding what you do and really standing in a leading role in your business. And so that's part of it. Like, once you get clear on the vision and then you stand in that leading role, you then can start marketing. I, in the past, was trying to market without a leading role, for sure, because I didn't want to pick one, because I didn't like that idea, and without having a vision. So it was never going to work. Even if the techniques I learned should be successful, they weren't going to work because everything else was out of alignment. So when you have those things in place, and again, like, if you want to ever talk about how to get that vision, how to create that vision, just let's get on a strategy session call and we can talk about it. And I can help navigate you to where you want to be. So getting clear in that vision is super important, because then we come to marketing. And oh man, so because I didn't know anything about marketing, I listened to a lot of other people and a lot of very smart people, and they knew what they were doing. So I had a woman. And there's all kinds of different marketing. Like, marketing is letting people know you can help. And there's all different kinds of ways to do this. Like, I could list out so many. So you could really SEO, and you could get your website to rank, and that could be helping you get sales. You could market on Facebook, both paid and unpaid. So there's Facebook as a marketing tool. There's probably, 3 to 5 ways to market I can think of. So you could do paid ads. You could do a technique that's very popular, which is posting in Facebook groups. You could have your own Facebook group. You could have a Facebook page. You could just simply promote on Facebook on a personal or a business page. All of those are strategies. They're all marketing strategies. And I would call all of those a different strategy. So when we talk about later about picking a strategy, those aren't all the same strategy. So that's important to know for later. But so it's all those. You can market on Twitter. You could do, Pinterest now has paid ads. You could buy web traffic like on Google Ads. You can write a book. That's one of my favorite ways to market. You could do a podcast. You could get on other people's podcasts and be interviewed. You could speak. All of these are different ways. It's just introducing yourself to people so they know you can help. They know you're there. And so as I'm talking about this, if you listen to the episode before this, you'll understand why it's so important to have that leading role so that people, when you're talking, you're not trying to talk to 20 different groups of people. You're talking to a group about a subject. It's really important in that leading role in marketing. It's really important. So there's so many different ways to market. So many. I mean, you could even do mailers and the ads. You could take out ads in a magazine or a newspaper. I mean, there's so many ways to market that it's unreal. And I always thought you had to do all of them. And I thought the wider that you went, right, meaning the more things you did, the better. What I have learned is that is not true. You want to pick 1 to 3 things that you do really well. Really well. I'm going to say it again, really well. 1 to 3 things that you do really well. And you probably want to start with one thing that you do really well because you might not need the other 3 if you do one thing really well. So what does really well mean? Well, it means that you're getting clients or you're getting customers. It means that your product or service is selling. It means that there's a system that's working, that you know how to get clients. So I love, I know a marketing guy, he was telling someone, he's like, oh, you just have to figure out, your marketing channels because then it's just a faucet. And when you need more people, when you need to serve more people, you just turn on the faucet and you put more people in the pipeline and then you have more people to serve. And when you're, too busy, you just, tone it down, you turn it off and you serve those people until you're ready for some more. And I love that faucet example. And I love the ease of which he said that. But so many of us, me included, were just struggling to get any clients. I remember I started on Twitter a long time ago and I paid a social media person and I did a lot of work. And I got one client off of Twitter, which if I looked at that marketing strategy, I probably could have optimized it and made it better to get more clients, but I wasn't looking at it. So what I was doing is just throwing everything in and not looking at what was working. Same with my SEO strategy. So I always thought you had to SEO the heck out of everything. I know a lot about SEO, but I don't totally know always how to make it work, or I don't know everything about SEO. And if SEO is going to be your strategy, you should probably know everything. And you want to do everything. And if SEO is your strategy, likely that might be just your one strategy, right? And now I know that there's tons of successful business owners who have multiple strategies, and that's awesome. I'm just telling you what worked for me. I like simple. I have learned that I really like simple and quick and easy. And so that's what I've just stepped into. And that's what's made the hugest impact in my business is really going with the simplest choice instead of trying to do 1,000 things. And earlier this year, my business wasn't moving as fast as I thought I wanted. I thought I was only doing 1 to 3 marketing things because that's actually something I learned from my mentors, that you just need to do 1 to 3. And I thought I was doing that. And then I stepped back and I'm like, oh no, you're doing 10. You're trying to make 10 work. And it wasn't working. But when I backed off and I just focused on 1 or 2, I started to have a lot more success. Because when you make 1 or 2 and you do it really good, then you have more success. So you want to pick a strategy and then you want to optimize it. You want to make it work as good as it can. And so what happens? Often we pick a strategy. I've done this before. You pick a strategy and you start doing it. You do it for a couple weeks, then you don't see any results and you abandon it. Or you add in something else because you want more. So that's what we do, right? We pick a marketing strategy, but then it's either not working as well as we want or we want more. And so then we add another marketing strategy. And then we add another marketing strategy because we want more leads. Well, it works better if you actually stick with the one marketing strategy that's working okay, and you optimize it and you make it better. So whether that means you make your sales copy better, you play with how many times you post something to Facebook, you play with the follow-up sequence, you play with, if you're going to do a webinar, what webinar works best. Whatever it is, you play with different times, you optimize that versus going wider and trying to get all these other people in by all these other strategies. Because every time you add a strategy, you actually dilute that strategy. You dilute the one you're already doing. So if what you're already doing is working okay, and instead of optimizing, you add another strategy, like let's say Facebook was working really good. Like let's say you were just posting on Facebook, is working really good. And you decide to start posting to Pinterest. Likely, you're diluting your time and energy that you're spending on Facebook by posting on Pinterest. Whereas maybe you could have just upped your game on Facebook and got the same results, because then you would be putting more in that marketing direction versus splitting your time and energy into two directions. Man, so many years I spent just marketing all over the place, really just throwing up and seeing what marketing thing would work. And every time someone told me new, I would do it. And a lot of times it was SEO. And what I found is that for me, SEO isn't the quickest route to what I want. But I was told by so many people, like, that's what you have to do, and that's what you have to do this, and you have to do that. And so I tried, and I hired people to make my website more SEO, and I did all this stuff, and it wasn't successful. And again, it wasn't successful for sure because I didn't have a vision. But then also because I was just throwing stuff at a wall. I wasn't tracking anything. I wasn't optimizing anything. It's quite possible that the SEO was working, but what was behind it wasn't working, right? So when you're marketing, it's about getting people to know you and getting them to be aware of you, and then getting them in your system to get to know you a little bit better. Because it's when they know you that they're going to buy from you. So your marketing might be awesome. It might be the process of getting to know you that isn't fabulous. And this is a work in progress. Like, I'm still working on, okay, how can I make it better? How can I introduce myself into someone in a way that works better for them, works better for my client? How can I optimize what I know is working, what gets people into my system? How can I make that better for them? And then once they get to know me, how can I make the sales part better? And there's 1,000 different ways to make this work. There's no right or wrong way. But I will say I have learned that rather than going wide and spending time on 100 different things, spending time on 1 to 3 that work is awesome. And if what you want is the success and the money and the clients as quick and easy as possible, this is the road I might suggest, is picking 1 to 3 things that feel really good and you feel really good about. So how are you going to know those things, right? How do you know which ones to do? So again, this comes back to getting clear in your vision, and then identifying your voice and then speaking it. Once you're clear in your vision and like your leading role, you'll be amazed at the ideas that come into your head. Follow those ways of marketing. Try things out. It's okay if things don't work. That's information, right? My mentor always says as well, all marketing works. I think she actually got that from her mentor. All marketing works. So if you don't get what you want, you know that wasn't the right way, right? Or if you get a little bit of what you want, you know you could optimize it and maybe make it better. But try doing 1 to 3 things really well and track them. One of the best things I ever did in terms of marketing was put a thing on all of my signups. Anytime someone comes and signs up for my newsletter or they sign up for a course, like, how did you hear about me? Because then I know what's working. If I'm just getting all these people, I might think that they're coming through one way and I might really try and start to optimize that way. But they might be coming through a different channel. They might be coming through a way I haven't thought of yet. You might realize that people are hearing about you a certain way and you want to optimize that. So if you're doing a lot of things in terms of marketing, maybe just give yourself a month to do just one and see how you can make that work better. See what that plan is, because that just might be the answer to getting more. Less is often more. That's an old saying, I know, but it's true a lot of the time I've found in being an entrepreneur, and it's helped me in my success. So in terms of marketing, get really clear on your vision, find your leading role, pick a leading role, and then allow yourself to be drawn to one thing, one type of marketing, and test it out and then optimize it for success before you move on to another thing. Because the cool thing is that if you make one thing really successful, you might not need the second and third thing. I am excited for you to add a little bit more ease into your marketing plan. So let me know if you have questions on this, but the basic thing is that you want to focus on one thing and do it really well, and then add in the other things. Marketing doesn't have to be as hard as we make it. Often what I find from my personal experience is that, and you might find this as, a servant's heart entrepreneur, we get all of these marketing messages and we listen to them because we want our businesses to be successful. So we listen to all these different people that say you have to do all of these different things to be successful and make money. And we don't know how to filter those out. And we think we have to do it all. We think all is more. And really, less is more. So if there's anything that's the lesson of the day, that's the big marketing lesson, it's less is more. Do less really well. Do more with less. Like really get into it and figure out how it's working and how you can make it better. So again, this is one of the biggest reliefs for me in my business was figuring out that I didn't have to do it all. So I hope that it's that way for you as well. Let's see. So I just wanted to read, I love the reviews that are coming in. And I just wanted to share with you one that I love because I love making a difference. So I just wanted to read this one. And this is from Gloria. And she says, "This is an amazing podcast. I really understand what I have been doing wrong and how easy I get distracted by doing things I think will help my business grow. But I don't have a clear picture of how many hours I want to work and what income I want in my account. I feel like I am doing more work than I need to. The GPS example is very good. I am excited to be able to listen to Cassie's podcast and would like everyone to listen to it." And she says, "Thank you for all your help." And I just wanted to share that because I love that. That GPS point is so important. If you get clear on that life you want to be living and that vision of what you want your life and your business to look like and what success looks like for you, everything else becomes easier. And so get really clear on that. And then let's get you to that success as quickly and easily as possible. Of course, we need a mantra for today. The mantra for today is, I attract clients easily. So if you have a different kind of business, you could put customers in there, whatever fits you. But I attract clients easily. Internalize that. Practice saying that. Practice seeing what that feels like. Imagine that in your life. I attract clients easily. Until next week, have a fabulous week. Good luck with everything in your business, and remember that less is more. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for joining us on the Happy Ever After Show, where you don't need a genie lamp to get your wishes granted. Now that you're inspired and ready to take action, get yourself on the path to your happy ever after by scheduling a complimentary strategy session at createmyhappyeverafter.com.